As is customary for this family, Chesapeake Shores Season 6 Episode 2 featured a little bit of everything. However, it seems as though significant events are just around the corner and they might drag this family into a dark place. As the series comes to an end, it certainly appears like there will be night before the expected dawn. Connor is making a good recovery. He appears to be past his health scare, but he won't get any better if he doesn't alter his lifestyle. It would appear that no amount of encouragement could make him behave differently because it was his worry that drove him to the brink. Connor experienced a lot in Season 5 of Chesapeake Shores. He was still trying to figure out his career, which had a terrible outcome when the company he worked for utilized his information against Mick. Naturally, he found success by founding his own company, but without any internal support, he allowed himself to become overworked. It's concerning that he hadn't acknowledged this as part of his recovery because he's not a guy who can do anything half-heartedly. The employment offer from Megan was distressing for him. He shouldn't worry about his offer, but he couldn't resist interfering with her choice. Additionally, even though Megan chose to accept the Getty's offer, it appeared from the outside that she had been pressured. She was hesitant to accept the offer for a number of reasons, but the entire family faced her as if it were an intervention at Connor's request. They will pay for it because she didn't have enough time to think things through. Connor needs to be approached by someone to request that he seek therapy for his anxiousness. He doesn't have to carry the weight of the world, yet he frequently does. There are several potential problems now that Megan is gone and Mick is addicted. The plot arc of Mick is concerning. He's in terrible condition. He can hardly support himself and hides his addiction from those he cares about by seeming strong around them. Although Luke was aware of it, his line of inquiry was not warmly welcomed. He might be facing a do-or-die situation, in my opinion. He can be accused of withholding information if he doesn't tell Bree about his suspicions and then later reveals he had them. Bree might take offense to the claim if he does inform her, which might lead to the breakdown of their relationship while still endangering Mick. Every time Mick moves, especially in his automobile, I prepare for the worst. Despite the fact that he has already been in a plane crash, it is impossible to ignore the fact that he is only one slip away from injuring himself or, even worse, someone else. Hopefully, after Luke shared so much of himself with Bree, if he says something, she'll take it at face value. He doesn't hide things from her, and that's worth a lot. If Mick craters after Megan leaves, the same scenario presents itself. She'll need to come home, and it will look bad if she doesn't. And if she does, she may never forgive Mick for not speaking sooner, especially since she was pushed to make a quick decision on the job. Frankly, it's a nightmare scenario, and I don't look forward to seeing it play out. Speaking of nightmares, David's family converged at the inn, and while relying on family is nice, they're jeopardizing the inn. The press was hounding them in Boston, and they couldn't handle it, so they brought the entire mob to the inn. Who does that? They're not in the witness protection program. It was easy to connect the dots and follow them to their destination. Jess handled it beautifully, though. I cheered for her when she controlled that crowd banging on her door. Most journalists know that going to the door is a no-no, but they may have done it since it's a business. Jess was so worried she wouldn't be able to care for David the way he has cared for her over the years, but she's matured quite a bit. She has confidence and courage. She'll be the rock for David's family and her own as things hit the fan. Bree's misgivings about Luke and his prison time also seem to have passed. I wonder if the short story was her way of reaching out to Luke. She used the same method to reach her family with her play. She doesn't know she's doing it, but by taking inspiration from those close to her, she broaches topics that make her uneasy. My favorite part of the episode was the wonderful second date Abby had planned for her and Evan. First of all, I'm a big fan of Maryland crabs, but even more, they showed that not having a lot in common broadens their horizons and allows them to appreciate each other in ways they'd never imagine. Luke and Bree are in the same pattern, but Abby wins with the most romantic date. It was perfect from the moment they arrived. Abby and Evan were playful and totally into the moment. When the pot was boiling and they were on lawn chairs covered in blankets, I could imagine the smell of the water, the crabs, and the crackling fire. Then Evan reached for her hand. Abby was not exaggerating when she said it was the perfect date. Even from a viewer's perspective, it was one of the top dates I've seen on television in a very long time. A trip to the shore and feasting on hard-shell crabs sounds lovely right now.